Hello, this is Yayoi Komiyama from Brain to Belly, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Zingo TV channels 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Zingo TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, and all smart TVs 2016 and forward. So, hello everyone. And today I have a special guest. She's a new friend of mine. Her name is Gina Kroezen, and she is a health stylist. Now, that was the first I heard of the word health stylist. She is also the founder of the Holistic Bliss Footprint Facebook group. And so I am going to turn it over to Gina to introduce herself and tell us what a health stylist is. So, Gina, welcome.
Thank you, Yayoi. Health stylist, yeah. Uh, is it okay to talk?
Yes, please do. Yes, when I first met Gina, she said health stylist, and I was like, I love that. Please explain a little bit more. So please explain.
What I want to explain is that my health stylist has developed from my studies because I was like, first I was a massage therapist, and I got a back injury, and then I had to do something different to keep on working. So I went back to school, and then I became a stress counselor. I work with hormone balance and everything that had to do with health, with mental health, with physical health, with food, and then eventually I became a gut therapist also. So all these things combined makes that everybody needs a different approach. Everybody has a different experience and preferences. So with all that combined, I thought, okay, it would be a bit better name to call myself a health stylist because we are approaching it as a health style and not as something that is off or wrong with you. So
Yes,
try
I love.
to make it a bit more positive.
Yes, I love that. When I first heard that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's ingenious." Because, you know, I label myself as a transformation strategist or transformation coach, right? And I was like, yeah, and that sounds okay, but everyone uses the word coach or strategist these
Yeah.
days. And I was like, health stylist, that's amazing because, you have stylists like for clothes and for beauty and things like that. And I'm like, and they, like you said, they go to different modalities and they pick out what's going to work best for their client.
Yes.
And and I was like, Gina is so smart. She did this and she did it with health because she
Yeah.
could do gut health. She could do, massage, things that pertain to the body. You also deal with stress and trauma. So I was like, wow, what a great way to market yourself.
Thank you.
And yes, you do so many things. I know that you talked about stress, you studied about stress and how to alleviate stress. And I think that's like one of the major causes of people's ailments with their
Yeah.
bodies, with their health. And stress, usually starts up here in the brain with our thoughts, and then it goes to our bodies. So, could you talk a little bit about your strategies that you use with trauma and stress, and how you, different stories that you might have, your personal stories, or maybe stories about your clients, or yeah.
Yeah, it always starts with a help question. People come in with a certain help question, and mostly it's weight issues, hormone issues, or gut health issues.
Yes.
Um, and you start with something, so you have to start somewhere. So you take the most obvious, and then you dive deep eventually,
Yes.
and not
Yes.
immediately, but eventually. So, and you have to also explain your clients how stress exists and persists. So if they understand how the body reacts to stress and how your mind reacts to stress and how your nervous system reacts to it. And it's all the talking in the body. And then eventually you can develop illness, and it's
Yes.
not in your head. It's really a physical reaction.
Yes.
So that's how I
Yes.
approach it. And yeah, and some people have no idea, and other people have an idea. So it completely depends on the person. And if I talk about myself, I was very young when I was chronically labeled as unexplained ill. So when I was 31, I got the diagnosis from a therapist as I was trying to pass an exam. I wanted to pass an exam, and I was afraid that I would sabotage it by external factors. So, and then she did some tests with me, and she said, you know, you have an ACE score of 8 and you have PTSD. And I was like, what? So then I found out that there was nothing wrong with me. It was my body who was constant in distress.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And PTSD is more common than we realize. I mean,
Yes.
you know, we think we associate PTSD with military and soldiers, but or severe trauma
Yeah.
victims. But many of us have that. I know I have slight PTSD as well, and that was when I did my brain scan.
Mm.
I had just recently in December, I had was it December? I think I had a brain scan done. It was called a SPEC scan, and it was with Dr. Daniel Amen's clinic with the Amen Clinics. And he does something called SPEC scan, which um, reads the oxygen in your brain
Oh,
and it
wow.
maps it out. And it was really cool. But they found that I had a little bit of PTSD as well. And I was like, oh, I wonder what. And then I started thinking and I realized it's all the accumulated stress and anxiety that I had that is causing that. And, with different activities and therapy, as well as taking different supplements for my brain. I've been working on getting rid of that because it was just a little bit, but still, I was surprised when I heard that. And yeah, the oxygen thing is really cool that, your brain, what they did was they found that, most of the oxygen in my brain is at the center of my brain, whereas the empathy centers. So that's why this is the perfect, profession for me, the coaching and doing things like that, because empathy is, necessary for that. Um, but then it's interesting that your brain needs a lot of oxygen as well.
Mhm. Yes.
So, and I think a lot of people forget that. And recently I was speaking to a friend who suffers from sleep apnea.
Oh,
And sleep apnea is when you're asleep and you stop breathing for a few seconds. Yeah, and that's very scary.
yes.
And he was telling me that when his doctor, when he did the study with the doctor, they said that he was not getting oxygen about, I think he said 88 times within an hour. That's frightening when you think about
Yeah.
it, even if it's for
So
like a
dangerous.
nanosecond. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and your brain, controls all your organs as well. So I was like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
and the doctor finally got that oxygen, what do you call the machine that gives you
The mask.
oxygen while you sleep.
The
Yeah.
mask.
So
Yeah.
yes, thank goodness for that. But I was worried, yeah, when I heard
Yeah.
that.
Does he also have overweight?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
we're working on that together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just diagnosed with diabetes as well. So,
Mm.
he's working on that. We're working on it with nutrition and health. And, his doctor said that he can still, by losing a little weight, the diabetes will go away.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
it's not that severe yet that he
Oh,
needs,
cool.
that much medicine. But yeah, so we're working on that. And it's really like you were saying, you know, everything is connected.
Yes.
And yeah, like you were saying with your own health, that you had issues and you were diagnosed and they didn't even know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
I
always
think,
said it's between your ears, like as if it's like somatic. They always say it's somatic. When they know you have some stress or you have some, how do you say it, certain background or whatever
yes,
you call it, you get labeled by bias. I call it. It's a bias from the
medical
doctor.
profession.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I think it's worldwide too. Many, and I think it's only recently that people are talking more about mental health and how the brain and the way we think really affects our body. Nobody
yeah,
takes that into consideration. Uh, Maybe 10 years ago, we would have been labeled as radical because we thought this way, and now it's pretty common for people to realize that what you think and the way you think about different things does affect your body. And when we hold things in, it stays in our body.
yeah. Yeah, and actually, it's like if you have certain thoughts, it produces a feeling, and it's not the other way around. A lot of people don't know that. And then you
Yeah.
also have the subconscious mind who produces all kind of feelings that you're not aware of. So
Yes, so
it's
true.
very complex. But if you finally find out what's happening, then there is a way out.
Yes, yes. And you yourself found a way out
Yeah,
through, working on yourself, right?
yeah. You have to willing to do it because it's not easy, and it's not for everybody the same road. That's why I call myself health stylist, because what works for me doesn't work for you. For me is something big, for you is something small. And there is no value on the amount of stress, but it's more like, what do you need, where can I help you with? And that's
Yes,
the main interest for my coaching sessions. Yeah.
yes, yes. And I love that it's customized to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's with any, coaching that you have to do, especially with health and weight and
Yeah.
all that. Um, it's you have to customize it to the client. Like you said, one size doesn't fit all.
Mm.
I mean, if it did, it would be so much easier with everything. But, but that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of the world, is that everyone is a little unique. Everyone's a little different. So that's what
Yeah.
makes it fun.
Yeah.
So we need to honor that uniqueness as well.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I think in my kind of work, like holistic work, then you have to offer all kind of different approaches.
Yes,
Because when I was young and I was seeking help, then it was like, you have to go for this to that person, for that you go to this person. You have 10 different persons to go to get the same thing done. So, and
yes,
that was also my goal in the holistic area. Yeah.
yes. Yes, I know. I remember when I used to, gosh, I had to go to so many different doctors, holistic practitioners, different practitioners to get a lot of different things. And I love that, you can address a lot of different things just by going to you, and you can tailor make basically a therapy or, sessions for your client and what
Yeah.
their needs are. Yeah, so that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's also like, if you're like, if somebody is very traumatized or has unresolved trauma, then you
Yes,
also have to know, this is not my area, because I'm not a trauma therapist. So you have
yes,
to also be aware of that, and then you have to be honest to your client and to yourself to say,
yes,
okay, we need somebody extra in this.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's so funny you mentioned that because my guest last week was a friend of mine who specializes in trauma. he's a coach that specializes in trauma. So
Oh,
that's interesting. So yes, this is all connected, I guess, in
yeah,
a very holistic way.
yeah, beautiful.
And yeah, it's beautiful how the world just, I don't know, the universe just brings everything together so that everyone can be aware, and it just all comes together like puzzle pieces all fitting in together to create a beautiful picture.
Yeah,
And I know you have a Facebook group called Holistic Bliss Footprint. Can you tell
yes.
us a little bit more about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really. It's not really that big yet, so I'm growing
Hmm.
it. And what's my intention is to also create a safe space for people who wants to communicate their problems or ask questions or just connect with other people. And I'm planning to start one time in 2 weeks. Sorry, my English is sometimes a bit
That's okay. Take your
slurry.
time. Take your time.
Um, so every 2 weeks, I want to start a Zoom session for people to join for max 1 hour, so they
Yes.
can drop in to ask questions or to have a small consultation or whatever they want to ask or tell or share a story, just what
Yeah.
comes up.
Yeah. That's so beautiful, and it's so necessary these
Yeah,
days. And I love that you're doing that. And actually, Gina and I found each other through Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, you do the similar thing to what I do." So I was like so excited when I first met Gina,
yeah,
and we did our interview, and I got to find out about all the things that she does. And we're like, "Oh, we're so similar. We could support each other." And
yeah,
it's kind of been like a sisterhood almost.
yeah.
And then we also have our we have fur babies that we are so devoted to. And we connected, we bonded on that as well.
Actually, yeah.
Yes, because we're both dog lovers, and we even showed our dogs on Zoom to each other. But when you connect with someone, those are things that happen. And I think you could tell that Gina's a very, friendly, open person, very compassionate. And when I heard dog lover, I was like, oh yeah, she is totally my kind of person.
Then I'm all in.
Yes, yes. Because, I don't know. To me, people that have pets are very compassionate. I
Yeah.
feel that they're very compassionate. And when you talk about your baby and Harpy, and I talk about my Maddie, and we're talking about them like our little children. And I was like, oh, she's a kindred spirit. And then
Yeah.
she does all this, thing about health and gut health and brain health. And, we both know through our own experiences how, it just so impacts you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I know that you had your health journey as well.
Mm.
And now you're okay, you're healthy. But, it took a long time to get there as well. So trial and error.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think when I really made a turning point, I was 31. And then
Yeah.
now I'm turning 54 this Sunday. So
Well, happy birthday.
wow,
Happy early birthday.
you when I say it, I think, what?
Oh, you have the same birthday as my father did.
Oh, yeah. He was a
August
Leo.
4th,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a Leo. Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I'm so excited.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, the universe brings things around to you.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no, I was sick till up until my 31, and then I was
uh-huh.
really sick. I almost died to a viral infection to my lungs, and then I
Oh
was like,
my
oh, I've
God.
had enough of it. I have to find out what's causing all this. So
Yeah.
that's when I turned it around, and when I really was like up the hill, like I felt like okay, now I'm feeling good. Was end
Yeah.
30, early 40s,
I'm
and I'm
glad you made
stable.
it.
I'm stable as
Yes.
can be, and Still no menopause.
Wow, lucky you. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's lucky, lucky.
Yeah, I feel lucky. I feel
Yeah.
blessed.
Yes, yes. I know I went through menopause, gosh, without even knowing it. So I was lucky too in a
Oh,
lot of
cool.
ways. I didn't suffer a lot of the things that most women do, like
Hmm.
with the sweats and emotional ups and downs. And I was very fortunate that I was, you know,
Yeah,
I got through it without much drama or anything. And it was, yeah. And I think it was because I was suffering from migraines very early on from most of my life, from like 20, into my 20s. And it was because a doctor put me on hormones.
me
Um,
too.
yeah, I was on hormones for the longest time. So I was probably on the hormones when I was got menopause and I didn't even know it. So it worked out well for me in a lot of ways. But it was also because I wasn't going to have children.
Hmm.
So that was another thing. My ex-husband and I decided we weren't going to have children. And so that was another reason I was doing that. And it was also because my family, my mother's side of the family, they suffered from something called polycystic kidneys, where you develop cysts in your
Yeah.
kidneys. So your kidneys don't function properly.
Uh,
And I was tested early on in my 20s, and they did find a few cysts in my kidneys, but they said it should be okay.
hmm.
And when I got tested again in my 30s, late 30s, early 40s, there were no cysts. So everything was fine. But then I was like, I wasn't planning on having kids anyway. So I said, it's okay. I'm just not going to do it. And then by that time I was divorced. So it's okay. I was like, okay, no
Actually
problem.
good.
Yeah. But and so that's why I was like, I'm just going to continue. And then I was still having my migraine. So that's why, I continued with the hormones, and that's why I didn't go through menopause the way most people went through
Hmm.
menopause. But I mean, I hear, you know, the menopause. I mean, the food and all of that really does affect,
Exactly.
your metabolism, your health, and even, while I was taking these hormones, I could tell that my body is changing, of
Hmm.
course, and as we age, of course, our bodies are going to change in different ways. And I think as women, we have to remember that, um, to take care of our bodies in different ways that it's going to affect. Food is going to affect it. And to eat healthier because, yes, we're not going to bear children, but still, we still need to keep healthy and well and fit.
I think this is a point. I gave a masterclass last Sunday. We had the same
Oh,
discussion about
yes,
this because
yes,
I am really have this opinion that we need to start this early as possible because
yes,
how earlier you start this, the more benefit you will have when you grow older. And
yes.
it's also okay. I don't have kids also, but I stopped my hormones intake when I was early 30, and that
Mhm.
was my rescue. So you see, that's the difference. I had
Yeah.
migraines from the birth control, so I kicked
Oh,
everything out. And I was like, there are different ways to handle the other part of
yeah,
the.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, but if you teach on schools like when kids are very young how to take care of yourself by every aspect and also
Yes.
the food part and it's not about yeah we have this I don't know how this is in the US we have this we call it the schijf van vijf it's the circle of 5 food groups
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
it's I don't support that one, but because there are all kinds of groups that are like mm, okay, skip this part. It's too
Okay.
much.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. I know that, but education in
Processed food.
nutrition, yes, processed food is so yes, that is always something we
Yeah,
talk about a lot here. And the the damages that come with processed food
yeah,
is it's so it's so much, and this for children especially because their still bodies are still growing. It affects them more than it
yeah.
does
But I
adults.
think it's the unawareness of what foods really
Yes,
are meant for, and I think if you say go eat more proteins, then people think automatically about an egg or chicken, and that's it. And if you say you have to stop eating carbs, they're like, or you stop eating the sugar. You mean the refined sugar and the white flour carbs and all the bad carbs? They are like, I need carbs. And then if you are more aware, if people are more aware of what really is healthy for our body, because we need to restore
yes,
and replenish in the night, and the biorhythm has to be in order. All these different aspects of our health, if that's taught on kids, then
yes,
I think that would be a good legacy
yes,
to give. Yeah.
yes. I agree. I agree, especially with children. Yes, and I think there's more awareness now than ever because
Mm,
people are talking about it now. And I know that there are many people that are going into schools and trying to teach kids more about the different food groups that there are. And like you were saying, how processed foods really are not really food in
mm,
terms of for nutrition.
mhm.
Um, they're just, it's a lot of empty calories.
Yes.
Um, and I just recently saw something that terrified me. I think I think maybe it was YouTube or maybe one of these things. They had a certain fast food burger and they poured, what did they pour on it? They poured something on it, but it didn't disintegrate at all. Because if it's normal food, even if you pour water on it, it should disintegrate, right?
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
the bun and the burger should disintegrate. It just stayed the way it is. And then that,
Coated.
yeah, I was like,
Mm.
that's so scary because
Yeah.
that's like it's plastic almost, right?
Yeah, but
I
it
don't know.
also,
Yeah,
if you buy food that stays fresh for 3 weeks, I'm really like, I'm not gonna have it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, what are they putting in it that's keeping it so fresh? I mean,
Mm.
yes, it's good that it's fresh, but then all those chemicals that are going into your body, and then I was recently talking with another nutritionist that was telling me that our bodies cannot um, digest and get rid of some of these chemicals that are in the foods that we eat, and they stay in our body, and that's where a lot of the weight gain could come
It's
in
still like,
because you can't
yeah.
process it. It's
But
stuck
you
in your
get
body.
also that you get that, that's also one of the reasons why you get this imbalances or imbalanced
Yes,
hormones,
yes,
because the liver isn't able to detox it, and your
yes.
gut has to deliver the how do you say that?
The enzymes and things to digest and
Yeah, but also
yeah,
to dump it, like
yes, yes,
um,
to release it, yes,
release
to
it. Yeah,
yeah,
and
mhm,
so it's I call it a compound effect, because it starts with one
yes,
small thing and it leads to bigger things. It's
yes,
no,
yes.
it's never one small thing. It's always connected to a bigger thing. Always.
Yes, yes, it is, and, we need to be aware, like you were saying at the beginning. Awareness is just so important for us, for everyone, to
Yeah.
become a little more aware of what you're putting in your mouth, and why, the thought process as well, and just to have that awareness to see where you're at. Now you had um, I wanted to go back to, you had mentioned a master class that you did last Sunday. What
Yeah.
was it on? I'm curious now.
Oh,
Can you
I
tell us
just
a
did
little
it
bit
on
about
Zoom.
that?
I
Yes.
did it on Zoom. Yeah, it was like about transforming your, I call it silent fight. So
Yes.
your silent fight into holistic bliss. So,
Ah,
and that was also explaining where it starts and how trauma leads to other things. And then you have, at a certain point in your life, you have stacked up boxes with all kinds of
yes.
stressors.
Yes.
Because I also don't like the word stress. I use the word stressor because the body can be in distress because of food or whatever reason it is. It doesn't always
Right.
have to be stress that's we experience in our head by mental or emotional factors.
Yes. Yes.
And so I explained a bit about that, and then what happens inside of our
Hmm.
body when we have these piled up boxes of stressors,
Wow.
and then see what do you need to turn it around. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's wonderful that you did that. Yeah. And do you have masterminds that you do often, or I'm just curious now?
No, I just started it, so
Oh, okay.
it's something I want to try to go and do every 2 or maybe 3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's great because, we need people to help educate other people because, there's so many people that are suffering with their health, and they don't want to, they think that it's wrong to say anything about it, or they don't know what's wrong. And, you know, I hate to say this, but like regular doctors, you go to them and they say, well, I don't know exactly what's wrong, but I think it's this, or I think it's that, or they'll just say, take this medicine
Yes.
and that should, and that doesn't really help. And I guess the thing is, we've been through that. We've been at that end of the spectrum, so we know that
Yeah.
when you become so desperate, you will try anything. And that's how I got to muscle testing, and that's how I started really learning more about um, all the holistic approaches that are out there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a lot of people are also that's something I addressed also in the masterclass. Like you have certain reasons why you don't go to seek help from a good doctor, because a lot of doctors label by bias, or
Yes.
they say you're too young, or you have too much stress, or it's between your ears, or the patient, or if you call it a patient, um, they think they're not sick enough. Like, oh no, I'm not sick enough. It's not bad enough, or they feel like I'm nagging.
Yes.
I just shut up because people think I'm this or I'm that, or they feel not. They're not fitting in the group, because you're also like, if you're also if you're always not feeling well,
Yes.
you're like, okay, I'm not going to tell because people think I'm
Complaining.
whining or
Yes.
complaining
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all these things contribute to people being chronically ill with unexplained health challenges. Yeah.
Yes. And I think, and then the more silent you are, the more
Mm.
it accumulates in your body. And
Yeah.
that in itself is a stress as well.
Yeah.
And, what happens is the human body, we accumulate, like you said, the stacking, like the boxes,
The
you know,
compound
it,
effect.
yeah,
Yeah.
compound effect.
Yeah.
It really does, stay in your body. Yes.
Yeah, and then also if you know the a little bit the theory of the nervous vagus,
Yes.
the polyvagal theory.
Yes.
You know, but it's also so interesting if you know a bit about it, how the body stores it all, and how unconsciously things get triggered, smells, sounds, facial expressions from people.
Yes.
You know, you get like, ooh,
Yes. Oh, so for our viewers, can you explain this a little bit more in detail so that they can understand it a little?
the polyvagal theory.
Yes, a little bit.
That's like your vagus nerve, the
Yes.
largest nerve in our body. It's oh my god, now my English is getting tested.
That's okay. I can help.
Our subconscious stores every stressful situation. If you get food poisoning or whatever it is that has caused distress in your body or in your mind,
Yes.
or and it does
Yes.
is also signs of small traumas
Yes.
actually,
Yes.
and then you're not aware of it that you have it. So if something happens that triggers that certain um, uh,
Emotion or
emotion or experience,
yes.
there was that emotion attached to, you can react the same way without knowing it.
Yes.
Like I always give this example. When I was young, I ate um, some carrots, and I
Uh-huh.
got sick with the carrots. Oh, I think I was
Oh,
about age 5 or so. For years, I didn't want to eat carrots because something in my body said, no, 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 no.
yeah. And that's so common, things like that, that our bodies react in that way.
Mhm.
Um, I know that for the longest time, I thought that I was allergic, not allergic, but I got sick after I ate, was it? I think it was coconuts. Yes, it was
Mm.
coconuts. I felt very sick after I ate something with coconuts in it, and I got horrible migraines
Oh,
after
wow.
that. So I thought the coconut was triggering my migraines, and I would not eat coconuts for the longest time.
Yeah.
And that was some connection that my body just went like this whenever I thought of coconuts. And then I tested myself. I started questioning myself. I said, am I really allergic to coconuts? And then I slowly started testing to see if I am. And then with the muscle testing, I found out that I wasn't, so I could eat coconuts, right? So I was scared at first. I was like, because
Yeah.
I didn't want another migraine attack. So I slowly started eating coconuts.
Oh,
And
wow.
now I can eat coconuts without any migraine triggering or anything. So it was
Mm.
very much this nerve and also, you have to kind of test your body, get, like a holistic doctor or even nutritionist to help you with those things, I
Yeah,
think.
but it's very complex because it's also
Yes.
like if you know a little bit about histamine intolerance, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
yeah, histamine is a byproduct of cortisol, and
yes,
so if you have a lot of stress, you know, it's all connected. And if you don't know, you don't know where to start searching. So a lot of people think I'm histamine intolerant, but actually the root cause is somewhere else.
yes,
And with the nervous vague story, it's like the nervous vague, the nerves, it's connected and it's communicating with our immune system, and
yes,
that's where it all starts signaling to other organs.
yes.
And yeah,
And
so it's very complex, but on the other hand, I think it's so amazing and so beautiful if you see your body as as such a miracle, because it's hard work. It's a hard working system for you.
right.
Yeah,
And it's a natural system that if you trust in it and if you give it the right things, it works perfectly for you.
yeah,
So I think I don't know where I mentioned this, but I was telling somebody it's like your car, right?
yeah,
Let's say that your body is your vehicle, it's your car, and you
yeah,
have to maintain it. You have to give it gas, You have to give it gas. You have to change the oil. You have to make sure that everything is maintained properly for it to function properly. So, and the gas is kind of like the food, and the oil is kind of like your supplements and all that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's kind of like that.
a lot of people take better care of the car than they take care of themselves.
Yes, yes. And, we only have this one vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, a car, if it gets really, really old, you can buy a new car, but you can't buy a new body.
No.
I wish we could, but we can't.
Would you buy the same?
Yes. And no, I don't know. I don't know. I like my body the way it is,
Good.
but then, you know, but of course, like there's some people that say, I want the flashy sports car, right? Well, but I like who I am, and I mean, because this body is what created me,
Hmm.
you know? Um, so I don't know. I don't think I would. I mean, yes, I suffered, from different things because of my body, but that's who I am. That's who that's part of who I am now. So I
Yeah.
don't think I would trade it in.
No.
No. Would
No.
you? I'm just
No.
curious now. No,
No, no,
right?
I was
Yeah.
just like, I just this
Yeah.
popped up. Like, I was so curious because when I was younger, I was really like nothing was good, and
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I don't know how to call it in English, but I thought I was really like a failure. I was
Mhm.
misproduced.
Yes.
You know
Yes,
how
I
it
know what you
works
mean. Yes.
in
Yes.
puberty, and um, but now I think, okay, I've done so much work on myself, and actually, I sometimes feel ashamed that I resented myself when I was younger. Yeah,
I have the same feeling. Yes.
yeah.
About myself. Yeah. Because at one point I did hate my body. I hated all of myself.
Mm,
Um, because there was a point where when I think I told you I had an eating disorder,
yeah,
and I really punished my body, and I punished my mind too with that. And that was really, gosh, it was sad. When I think about it,
yeah,
I still feel hurt in my heart when I
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah,
But
I've never talked openly about it on Facebook or something, but I had it too, and now I'm older. I'm still like, I don't like to talk about it, but it's something that overcome, and it's part of who you are.
yes,
And
yes,
but if you think back, then you also know why you had it. It's like it's no ment. I don't see it as a mental issue, more like a survival mode that you have been in,
yes,
at least for
yes,
me.
yes. And I think, yeah, even for me, I mean, it was a lot of psychological, but also for me, it was also survival because um, in order for me to survive in society, I had to be a certain way, or I know, like for me, what started off with my association with food started off with I don't blame my mother at all. I'm just bringing this up because it happened, and this is, what happened. I don't blame my mom at all, but when I used to cry as a baby, everyone said, "Oh, just feed her."
Oh yeah,
So she'll stop crying, right? Because, you know, when uh when a baby's, eating, it's not going to cry.
yeah,
So that's where it started. And that whole connection is where everything started with me. And,
mm,
so it was part of survival for me because I thought that was the only way to be. And in order to be loved, I needed to be quiet and to
mm,
eat.
mm,
So, you know, a lot of things that was my survival. But I think all of us have different ways that we incorporate all of those things,
yeah,
and those things come into our lives. And like you were saying, if we didn't have those experiences, we wouldn't be who we are now. You
yeah,
wouldn't be the health stylist that you are now, that you can help so many
Exactly.
people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also true. And
Yes.
I was under eating. I just didn't eat anymore. So to me, it was the opposite. And it
Yes.
was for me, it was like shutting down all my feelings and stuff like
Yes.
that. So that's
Yeah.
it's too much focus on the food to address those problems and to less on the root cause of it. Yeah, it's
Yes.
also a goal to uh, to target. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. And I think for both of us, both of our work, our mission is really to help people feel whole again, to help to assist people so that they can feel whole and be who they really are and
Mm.
be proud of who they are, and their bodies and their minds. And so I think that's, and like I said, I really believe that what you're doing is so important. And I think both of our missions are very important.
Yes.
So Gina, we're closing in on end time, but just so could you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing right now and where people could get a hold of you, and anything new that's coming up that you want to promote?
Yeah. Yes, I'm actually on Facebook, of course, and
Yes.
a little bit on Instagram, and I'm working on a new website. This will be out soon. And I'm working on my 6-week coaching program. That's almost done, also. And
Yay.
yay! And of course, the master classes, the live meetings on Zoom every two
Yes.
weeks are, as I think it will be September because everybody is on holiday now.
Yes.
But planning is to get it all rolled out in first week of September. That's
Wonderful.
what I'm aiming at. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And on Facebook, should they reach out to you as Gina Kroezen, or should we reach out to you through your Facebook group? Um,
Both is good. Both is good.
okay.
So
And
everybody's
so,
welcome in my group and also on my page, of course.
ah, yes. And the full name of your page?
It's just my name,
Okay. Okay. And the Facebook group is called Holistic Bliss
footprint.
Footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's ingenious name as well. I think it's wonderful, and I think your tagline said that transforming stress and trauma related health challenges to health bliss. Is that correct?
Yeah, to holistic
Yeah,
bliss. Yeah.
holistic bliss. Yeah,
Yeah.
holistic bliss. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that's
Yes.
wonderful. And
Thank you.
yes, Gina, so it's been wonderful having you here today. And thank you for joining me and sharing
Thank
your
you.
story and sharing.
Always happy to join you.
Yes,
Really
thank
lovely.
you.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank you.
you. We're both fur baby parents that love our fur babies to death. So, and we connect with that. We connect with
Yes.
this whole health and gut and
Yeah.
brain health and all of that. So it's such a wonderful connection that we had, and it was just
Yes.
by coincidence that we found each other through Facebook.
No, it's not.
So yeah, no, it's not coincidence. Okay, the universe brought us together. You're right.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, it's really, I love the fact that once you become more conscious of what the universe is sending you, you really see all the signs that are there that are the puzzle pieces for your life.
Yes.
And it's really about magnetism. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Gina,
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Yayoi.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay.
And so this show can be also heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca and for all the news and programming. So Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you.